Hey everybody, welcome to our live. We're going to do a short show today, but we're really excited. We're kind of coming off of Hahnbee's show, who is our guest in the middle here. Hahnbee
Hello.
Choi is a nutritionist, a dog nutritionist, and we're going to learn all about her as quick as we can in 15 minutes. But um, let's just first and foremost welcome Ian Billinghurst, my partner and guest host.
Thank you, Rob. It's great to be here yet again. You're
Yet
looking
again,
wonderful, but
yes.
Hahnbee is looking better.
Yes, you just had a nice, 45-minute or so interview
We
on her
did.
show. And where can we see that, Hahnbee? Where can we see that interview?
Yes, you can see that at the Rawcast podcast. It should be up next month. We post monthly episodes since I'm a student and life is a bit crazy.
Good. And you'll find that on the rawstorm.com, or like where's the
So I'm the Raw Storm pretty much everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, our website. If you follow the Rawcast podcast on Instagram, which is our special podcast Instagram, I'll announce when it'll be live on there.
Gotcha. So you have your own Instagram account for the podcast.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, great. Real great. Well, you're so organized. I mean, you said it. You're a student at is it Davis?
Yeah, UC Davis.
That's a great school, and I mean, I don't know how you do it. You want to study to be a vet, is that right?
Yeah, right now I'm planning to become an integrative vet. I personally think the job field that I'm going into is not created yet because just the world expanding and the power of the internet and content creating and where I'm at right now. So right now my vague goal is vet, but we'll see where my life takes me.
Ian,
So,
don't
so
you wish?
Hahnbee, I'm fascinated. What do you see as your life as a nutritionist and a vet? How do you picture it evolving?
Yeah, so if I do become a vet, I definitely want a strong focus in nutrition. Obviously, that's where my passion is at. But right now, I'm very focused and honed in on providing accessible, digestible education that's free. So right now, I don't have any services or products. I do have like codes and things like that for other people who do provide that, but just helping as many people as I can worldwide.
So
Wow.
you see your job as a vet might not be as one-to-one or in necessarily a veterinary hospital, but more online or more widespread.
Maybe. I started watching this series of, like, tiny mobile homes, and one fun idea I had is what if I was, like, a mobile vet? So for 3 months, I'm in this area, for 3 months, I'm in this area, and since integrative vets are so needed, the need for holistic care and the want for holistic care, and just with not enough vets around, plus then I can travel the world and just see so many more abundance of clients and interesting things. And I just thought about that last night. So that's a little peek view, I guess, into maybe perhaps where my future would go.
Okay. So would you see your future as a vet less on the conventional veterinary hospital does a lot of surgery, does a lot of vaccination, does a lot of routine things. Would you see your role more as dealing with more complex health problems and turning that around through nutrition and supplements and so on? Is that how you're picturing your future?
Perhaps, yeah. Of course, I only am still a freshman still. I took a gap year, so I'm calling myself a geriatric freshman. So I still have a ways to go, but yeah, perhaps, definitely.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. It might be the way a lot of new young graduates who are interested in raw and nutrition may push themselves. I'm not sure. I was just intrigued by what you had to say. Anyway, Rob, I just needed to find out a little bit how Hanbei was thinking.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just thinking about, you know, Ian. Wouldn't it be crazy to think of yourself as in your 20s and your vision for your career was that it hasn't been created yet? That's what she said.
Mm,
She doesn't think
No,
it's
yeah,
been created
I'm
yet, so
19,
she's
not 20
creating it.
quite yet.
That's
wow.
amazing. I mean, that's a really um,
Good
evolved
words,
and
mature.
wise
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really
Maybe
wise way to look at your life.
Thank you,
you
thank
must
you.
be an old soul, perhaps.
Yeah.
That's
Well, let's
probably
get into
not
your.
sure.
I mean, what
Yes.
I want to do is I want to share a little slice of you and the Raw Storm. First of all, Raw Storm is named after your dog Stormy, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's people are probably wondering, what that all
Yes.
means. And you deal a lot with raw food and nutrition, and you're a believer in raw food, and so I just encourage people to go to all her social media is consistently the Raw Storm. Her website is therawstorm.com, but her Instagram is beautifully assembled. So, you know, I I think that a person like you meeting the moment of what social media is doing, and you're taking this quote profession, this certification you have and this interest, and I mean you're applying this creativity to it. I mean, like I watched some of your videos. I'm like, how did she figure out? I just watched. It wasn't even a video. It was like one of your what are those cute, crazy characters that are making a comeback? Little
Oh,
Miss.
the Little Miss memes?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and like I'm like, is that from when I was a kid? And then like you've got little dogs around it. I'm like, how does this girl have time to create all this and then research and then do her work? And I mean, and you've got a life that you're living. It's pretty cool. I mean, you're a natural fit for all this. It's a convergence for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, I have an intersectional identity, I have intersectional interests, and it kinda all jumbles into this platform, thankfully.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Uh, yeah, I mean, you've got all these recurring sections. I forgot what it's called, but it's like what's in the bag or what's inside the bag or
Yeah, what's
something.
really in the bag? Yeah.
Yeah, what's really in the bag, and then and your little bit of a deep dives on things that are a little bit more whether it's a supplement or a structural issue or uh, bone issue or something, but it's really nicely bite sized, and it's also not it's not way up here where people are like it's very consumable. So Ian, have you had a chance to look at her social yet? I know you don't do very much social.
No, I'm hopeless at that, Rob. I'm so old school. But I had a brief look, and so impressive. All the stuff you're saying is it's just wonderful.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you so much. I appreciate that. That's help.
So what, now that we've talked up your Instagram, we want people to go there, and then and your website
Indeed.
is therawstorm.com. So tell me what traditionally happens when people contact you and say, I have no clue how to start. You know, we want some guidance and we want you to do it. How do you start with people?
Yeah, so let's say somebody's contacting me about I want to start raw, I'm on kibble, and I have no idea where to start. So usually I'll introduce them to things such as kibble boosters first. I remember when I started raw, and it's very overwhelming if you just go full DIY raw. So if they're interested in doing full raw, then I have some guides and other resources that I can send them online. And then if they have any questions, they're free to ask me, and I'm more than happy to help them.
That's great.
Wow,
And
that's very accessible by the sound of it.
so
Yeah,
what what, what are
yeah.
what are some of the examples of the toppers or add-ons or what you call mix-ins?
Yeah, so kibble boosters, basically adding in any my I guess phrase is any amount of fresh food is better than none. So of course it's not everyone's not going to be able to feed raw. It's not sustainable depending on the life, income, etc. So adding in any amount of fresh food such as eggs, goat milk, tinned sardines, freeze-dried treats, berries, leafy greens, table scraps left over from dinner, as long as it's appropriate, things such as like broccoli, asparagus. Any amount of fresh food is going to be better than none. And if you're filling it around 20% of the bowl, you're not going to have to balance it out with a kibble when if it is more than 20% or you're feeding 50-50, there's a little bit more logistics that go into it. But if you're keeping it around 20%, then it's easy on your part.
Great, great. And how long do you work with people? Do you typically? I'm sure you'll work with them as much as they need. But typically, what do what do
It's
I want to
kind of,
speak
yeah.
to the younger person that's trying to
Yeah.
get on board.
It's kinda like an open chat, honestly. You just send me a message and I'll respond when I have time. If you need to go more back and forth, I will help you and assist you and guide you along the way. Some people just need a quick yes or no to this question. Some people need a little bit more in-depth problem solving, whether it's me pointing them to the vet, "Hey, this isn't a nutrition issue, you should go to the vet," or if it's a more raw feeding logistics question, like, "How much bone do I need? What supplements do I need to add? How much?" Things such in that nature.
What sort
Right.
of feedback do you get in terms of positive results? Do you get much of that? Particularly
Sometimes
back.
I would Yeah, not always, but it's always nice when I do, so I've a lot of times, you're hearing the better stools and better energy, you're getting more allergy relief, things like that. I would love it if more people would give me more feedback and keep me updated, so yeah.
Well, that's Hanbi. That's I think if I could speak for him because he is here, Dr. B's chief complaint, which is that people need to share the positive that when they're eating raw, they need to share that with their vet more, so their
Yeah.
vet connects it and starts to think to themselves, well, gee, maybe I should be talking about this raw food. But unfortunately, I think it's one of the things that it's one of those things like if everything's going well, you're not going to hear from me, but I think that's a big hope of ours is, yes, let us know all of us in the animal dog health space when something's going wrong, but please let us know when things are going right. It's incredibly informative.
In fact,
Totally.
harking back to what Rob just said, when you talk to these people, just mention to them if they're having positive results with raw, they should actually take their dog in and get some blood tests, some base ones, and then move forward and over time. But let their vet know what's going on, so the vet can actually see positivity out of raw. Because the more people can do that and explain to the vet that this is actually working, the more the veterinary profession is going to be educated. Our problem as vets is all we ever see is sick animals. Our assumption, I think, that grows over time, even if it's just without really knowing it, is that we just think that everything is sick and that that's the way life is. And because we don't see the healthy animals out there, we never ask the questions, oh, why is your animal so healthy? Because we don't see them. So somehow we've got to get people with healthy raw fed animals in to see their vet, get some blood work done. And that also is going to give us some more normals for raw fed animals so that we all understand that, for example, the BUN might be a bit higher in our raw fed animals.
Yeah, yeah. We all have a role to play, I think, and we're enlisting you officially in, getting people aware of spreading the word just by example, by showing people. And in our business, we're making a deep commitment to bringing on really great scientists and doing studies and and writing papers that back up all the great things that we hear people saying, but so that's the role we can play, but at Gussie's Gut. But for you, I think don't be surprised if vets start pointing clients to you, and you become a referral source, right?
I will wear that badge honorably. Thank you. Yeah, I hope to be able to communicate all the wonderful science coming around in a way that anybody can understand and say, "Okay, this is what's happening," and have that evidence and that security of, "Okay, what I'm doing is working, this is helping," and have a little bit more peace of mind.
Right.
Fantastic.
That's great. Well, we're about out of time, but we want to thank you so much for doing your podcast earlier, and we'll look forward to that soon. As soon as it's up, and give us that Instagram one more time for that podcast.
So it's at the Rawcast podcast for the podcast one, and then just at the Raw Storm. If you go to at the Raw Storm, it's tagged in the bio.
Oh, great. Okay, so at the Raw Cast.
At the Rawcast podcast.
Oh,
It's a
got
bit
it.
long, yeah.
Okay, a broadcast podcast. Okay, awesome, great. Well, we'll look for that. Go to that, and I'm going to actually subscribe to that channel right now. I'm glad I just found out about it. So that's right on screen.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Yes,
All right,
got
sounds
it.
great. Well, thank you so much, Hahnbee. This has been a real pleasure. We look forward to seeing more from you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you,
And
Rob. Thank you,
Indeed,
Dr.
you do.
V.
let
And
us
as I
know when
said, I
let us
just
know when
want
your
to
book
thank
comes out.
Okay, we will.
you for
Thank
your
you.
book. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your
I
book.
actually had the idea. I don't know. I keep sitting down, but I don't know what to write about because there's so many different topics. I have an outline. I have a title already. It's in the works. I'll say that.
Well, that's wonderful, because keep working on that. We
Thank you
need you
so
to
much.
do
Oh, that gives me so much encouragement to
move forward
continue.
your career.
Yeah, it
Thank
worked out. It worked out pretty well for him.
Yes. And I struggled to start that book too.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Yeah, that just gives me more steam in my engine to keep pushing on with it then.
Fantastic.
Good. For anybody watching and wants to get into the profession, look at Hahnbee as an example. She's great inspiration and a great example of what you can do as a dog nutritionist, canine nutritionist.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for coming on, and
Bye.
have a great day, Hahnbee.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye, Dr. B. Well, that was great. Let's we'll stay on for just a bit since she left real quick. I just real quick, what was your thoughts on your interview with her?
She's a very knowledgeable young lady, and she was challenging me to go to the depths of my knowledge. So
Good.
Well done, Hahnbee.
Good. Very good.
So wow, at 19, she's got a long way to go, and starting off with an incredible base. So she shall be a major force in the raw food world in years to come.
Yep. Well, you must enjoy seeing these accounts and these young people just coming up. It's got to be mind blowing.
It's wonderful, and in fact, I wouldn't have had this opportunity if you hadn't have started Gussie's Gut and we started doing these. So let me thank you for that. I'm meeting all these wonderful people who are forwarding this raw work. It's incredible.
I feel the same way. I mean, I came into this business wanting to, create these products, and then I stepped into it and I went, wow, look what great people we get to work with. I mean, all these people we've had on our show, the people we have scheduled up on our show, they're remarkable people doing just great things.
Yep.
Very good, sir. Well, enjoy the rest of your morning. It's morning for you in Sydney. And for me, it's evening-ish, about 6, 7.
Oh, looking forward to a very nice evening.
Yes, I am indeed. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Okay. You too.
All right. Cheers, in.
Cheers.